August 2nd, 2019. It's been 29 years, 1 month, and 1 week since I masturbated, had an affair. I want to talk about a slogan today that is controversial and easy to get confused, called "Take Care of Yourself." When 12-Step was started in June 10th of 1935 by Dr. Bob and Bill Wilson, who started Alcoholics Anonymous, it went along for 16 years. And then Bill's wife, Lois, started another fellowship called Al-Anon. And Al-Anon was for friends or family members of alcoholics. Because she came up to her husband, Bill, said, I don't drink, but I got a lot of the same character defects, and I've harmed a lot of people in the same way that you have, through dishonestness and selfishness and resentfulness and fearfulness and extremity and obsessiveness. And I've got the same character, even though I don't drink. It's like the negative of a film. You ever seen the negative of a film? Back when they used to have negative, and it's the exact opposite. The light is dark and dark is light. And she found the same thing to be true. So she started a new program. And where in Alcoholics Anonymous, what they found is that alcoholics are selfish. But what happens with the Al-Anons, the friends or family members, they're the opposite. They forget themselves. They abandon themselves. The old joke it goes like this, and it's a good joke. It said, when an Al-Anon dies, what's the last thing that she sees flashing through her mind? The alcoholic's life. She doesn't see her life, she sees somebody else's life. And so what Lois needed to learn was how to take care of herself. Now, taking care of yourself is the antithesis of what Bill was talking about. Bill, as an alcoholic, was selfish. And so what Bill needed to do as an alcoholic, and all addicts need to do, is learn to unselfishly serve other people. That's the antidotal action to selfishness. However, the friends and family members had exactly the opposite spiritual duty to evolve to. And that's it. They forgot themselves. They abandoned themselves trying to take care of the alcoholic. So what they had to do was to learn to take care of themselves in self-loving and self-nurturing ways that were not selfish. So self-care and selfishness are two extremely different things. And you have to have the wisdom to know the difference. Taking care of yourself, which is what this slogan is about, is characterized by at least 4 really basic skills. 1, you need to know how you feel. Do I feel mad, glad, sad, afraid, needy, lonely, angry, paranoid, sexy, funny, peculiar? How do I feel? That's the first thing. The second thing is you need to be able to set boundaries with people. You say, you can do that. You just can't do that around here. Like if somebody's smoking around your kids, I'm not trying to tell you not to smoke, but you can't smoke around my children. It's called boundary setting. The third thing is announcing limits, which is very different from boundary setting. So announcing limits is like the boss says, I want you to work 6 hours overtime. You say, well, I've got my kid's game at 2 hours. I'll work 2 hours overtime, but I can't work 6. That's called announcing limits. Or here's another example of announcing limits. Your wife wants you to go spend 3 weeks with her mother. And you say, I'll go visit your mother, but we'll spend 2 days and we'll stay in a hotel, a mile and a half away. That's called announcing limits. And the last thing is meeting needs. Meeting the needs for love and belonging, which everyone has, and the need for esteem of others, that someone values you. So feelings, boundaries, limits, and needs are examples, real bottom line, just basic examples of taking care of yourself that the Al-Anon has to do as examples of taking care of herself, which are, once again, very different from being selfish. And if you don't know the difference between self-care and selfishness, then you need a sponsor that can explain it to you. This is the way we kick the ball. This is how you take care of yourself. Because we believe that taking care of yourself is 50% of God's will. 50% of God's will is unselfish service to others, but the other 50% is self-care, loving self-care. And you have to have the wisdom to know the difference. And when you first come in, you don't. That's what a sponsor's for.